In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up and coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel, who are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, would suffer slavery in Jamaica, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, and other parts of the world. We will show you in the Bible where God said He would send plagues upon the earth before He frees people from this captivity.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today and call the number in the description for I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. Shalom. Shalom, Hebrew. Shalom, Israel. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And is run today by Commanding General YAHANNA, the man with the rank and the authority to be the leader of the nation of the Israelites at this time. Yahweh Basham Yahweh Barakata to the brothers, Yahweh Shama Ailatan Basham Yahweh to the sisters. Welcome to our Sunday afternoon scripture breakdown class, I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. Well, a little technical difficulty, all right. Like we have that somewhat sorted out. Today we're talking about nakedness. What does it mean when the Bible talks about nakedness? What is it talking about? All right, it's a term that is used in the Bible in several scriptures. All right, the one we're going into now, we'll start with Romans 8 and 35. All right, let me bring that up. Romans chapter 8 and 35.
Romans chapter 8 and verse 35. Who shall separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation, or distress, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword?
Right. Tribulation. All right, look up tribulation meaning.
Tribulation, a cause of great trouble or suffering.
A cause of great trouble or suffering.
Yeah.
Just like the curses. Curses come like tribulation to us.
Yeah.
But the Bible also speaks of tribulation, like the tribulation to come, which is referring really to World War III, when the kingdoms of the present world, meaning the countries, find themselves in trouble. Yeah. Before World War II, there were countries in this earth which don't exist after World War II. There are countries that existed before World War I as well, which after World War I don't exist. Right. Countries like some countries, example, you hear about a country named Prussia?
Yeah.
You hear about one country named Prussia? You have Russia. You hear about Russia though? Yeah. There was Russia and there was Prussia.
Never hear about Prussia.
Never hear about Prussia. Ever hear about Assyria?
Yeah.
Right. Before World War II, Assyria still World War I, Assyria still existed. After World War I, their economy was devastated. World War II, take them out. So for them, these wars were tribulation, which made them to not exist after the war. Before 70 AD, our kingdom existed. The kingdom of Jerusalem existed. Then Rome invaded 70 AD, right? Right?
Right.
Right. Rome invaded 70 AD, and what happened? In less than 6 months, I think, country was no more. It took probably 4 months, 4 to 5 months. The war didn't even last for the whole year. The last to fall in Jerusalem was the temple. The Romans came in, destroyed the temple, they burned the temple. That's one of the reasons why you don't have a lot of the books you hear people say, but you had so and so books. What happened to them? How come then in the Bible and thing? As if to say, there was some smooth transition coming down the line. That piece of land has gone through so many wars that has caused those that you see make it and come back to the Bible. These were hidden in, they found them hidden in caves. All of them. The entire 66 book that they have. There were some others which never really meet the criteria to what they were trying to achieve with the Bible. But the ones that the most I wanted to make it to the Bible, made it to the Bible. Right. Old Testament, the entire Old Testament, the entire New Testament. I can't even say entire New Testament either, because there were other books that were written. Remember, all right, in the New Testament you had those who were in Jerusalem, right? Those books, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts. Then by touch Romans now, it start dealing with those who were outside of Jerusalem. Acts was the transition.
What about Peter?
Peter, you mean the person Peter, the book Peter? Peter was in Jerusalem, made it into the Old Testament. Sorry, New Testament. But really and truly, there is no New and Old Testament. It's one testament. It's the Romans and King. Well, probably became old and new before King James, but King James just did some translation, check the authenticity, let the university run it. It is the best supervised and run translation of the Bible. It was done by Oxford University scholars, a lot of scholars involved. It was about 100 scholars who were in charge of translating. Some might take from Genesis to Genesis, Exodus. A group do that and pick it up, come down the line, right? The book named the Apocryphas. Yes, those made it to the Bible. Who Esau took out. Rome take out that after a while. It tell you too much. So they remove it and say, these are not holy scriptures. There's prophecy that is not fulfilled yet in it. It tell you about how we started the feast of, how the feast of dedication came into being, in which you see Christ celebrated the feast of dedication, I think in the book of John. It's in the Bible. So if the Christian today would read the Bible and there's a feast of dedication, and then they go back to Leviticus 23 and check the feast, the appointed feast, and you don't see it, then they'll wonder, oh, this came about, and Christ celebrated it, because that was in the Apocrypha. They took that out. Where to find the Northern Kingdom, where they went, that's in the Apocrypha. That's how we study everything. There's no way you can take out the Apocrypha and get the fullness of the garment that we are supposed to put on as Israelites today and await Christ. You have to take in everything. That's 1, 2, 3. No nation have a right to tell you to forget a part of your history. Which three? Me say number 1, number 2, number 3. 3 points I think I give you about the Bibles and where how it come about today. Nobody have the right to take out. Remember, I said in Revelation, if you had our takeaway, then the plagues that are in the book will be added or subtracted from your life. The white man tamper with it. But the Rome's tampering with the Bible, other than removing the Apocrypha, is really the interpretations of the scriptures. They give you, they interpret it in their way. Now, if you take a journey to Blue Mountain Peak, and you're talking to somebody who has never been on that journey to Blue Mountain Peak, who probably have more power than you, and is going to dictate to you what the journey is. Does his idea hold any precedence over you who have actually walked the journey? He has never been on the journey. He not experienced the journey, but he want to be the one to teach people about the journey.
No.
What you say?
No.
No. Exactly. Him can have. You put the thing there in the fire. All right. I can make it slow cook. Wait till we finish this explanation. So they want to be the one to tell the world about the Bible and the Israelites and what the Bible is about and salvation and all that. They weren't the one in Jerusalem. They weren't the one living the life. So that is why those of us who came through slavery, which was the Most High's punishment, we lost everything. The Most High took everything from us. The language, the way the garments, how we dress as a people, language, dress, culture, the whole thing went. It's like you wipe a clean slate. When that slate was made clean, the white man was the one in charge of the world, basically. Because it's really two set of people really run the world, you know. Either the Israelites are those who have the Israelites. You understand what I'm saying to you? Since we became a nation in Egypt, is 1 out of 2 set of people rule the world. It's either we rule in the world as Israelites, or those who have us in captivity rule the world. The oppressor. Yes. The oppressor has not only been the white man. The first oppressor was the Africans, the Egyptians. That was when Egypt was in its towering glory. The Egypt that you read about and they try to glorify today, that was when we were in Egypt. The America that the world glorifies today, we are in America, because here is America's, you know. But United States in particular, what they call Babylon, the 12 tribe is there.
12 tribe is
yeah. Them, you have people from the 12 tribe in America. All of the tribes where the mass would be, like in the West Indies, you have the Benjamites. Who control the West Indies? Thank you. Who control South America, the South American countries? Who control the North American countries? So the whole lot, the entire West here is controlled by America. The only one that gave them a little problem for some while was Cuba, tribe of Manasseh, who went and joined with the Russians and became like a thorn to them. Communist Russia fall. So Cuba is no more problem to them. So because of their you being in their hands now, then their interpretation of the Bible is what is out there. But they were the one who take the trod in the land. They were the ones who were living the life and making notes of the experiences. We were. That is why in Psalms 147, it goes this way. Don't last that page, we're going right back to Romans. That's why in Psalms 147,
Can 147 and
19 and 20.
Can. He showed his word unto Jacob. His
So
statutes.
he showed his word unto Jacob. So while we were in the kingdom, the Most High, all those punishments and wars and victory and oppression was the Most High teaching us his way, his ways. The nation never get to for them chance to learn it under our hand too. Though. The same thing when we go through with the curses, it's going to go on them. So they can laugh all them want and believe that black man is just nonsense and so on and so forth. So he showed his word to Jacob. So we were in the land. We were the ones who were showing his word, Jacob people. So at first, the father Jacob, he did show his ways to him in a way, because remember Jacob wrestled with the angel who was the representative of the Most High God. So the scripture says he wrestled with God. Yeah. All right, continue.
His statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
All right. So who got these statutes, which is the laws, and the punishment of the laws, which we call the judgment? Yeah. He showed those to Jacob's children. Mm-hmm.
Verse 20. He has not dealt so with any nation.
He has never showed himself, his ways, to any other nation. So in other words, you know what it is like to be stuck in a situation where it's like you are in quicksand. That's what is happening to the people in a city and our people in general. It's like they are stuck in quicksand. I was listening to one of the story that one of the brothers in the States last night on the same TV channel that I had to subscribe to, where he was talking about his parents believed in Martin Luther King's. God. But then when the term
civil rights.
Yeah, integration. His parents believed in Martin Luther King's integration, so they moved into a white community. Yeah, Martin Luther King tell us to integrate and the government agree. We're going in the white community. Guess what? He was living in the white community, surrounded by about whatever amount of white people, paved driveways, clean environment, so much different from the projects, the inner cities in America. But they still have the drug, they still have the drug problem, just like the man in the projects. They still have they experience the brunt of what you would call racism. As put in the scriptures, rebuke. The other nations will rebuke you. That is the way the scriptures put it. Today it is known as racism. And every captivity we go into, we are being rebuked by those who capture you. So you wonder, so we're not care where we come from. You understand? The police, their troops kill you at will, but at the same time, is you are the ones who they build their economy on. Anyways, that happened. So these now will be passed to the other nation. So he said he has never shown himself. He showed his statutes and his to Israel and what else? He has not done so with any nation. What else?
He has not dealt so with any nation, and as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord.
Right. So they don't know the Most High judgment. They can't tell you what nakedness is. Because they have never experienced the nakedness where the Bible talk about. We experience it as a people. They can only probably hear it at some point back in the before slavery, being then maybe they hear it break down to them and they say, oh, maybe that was what nakedness would be. But in the church today, what they tell you nakedness be? Without clothes.
Okay.
You finish, you read 20?
Yeah.
All right. So they are not able to tell you what exactly nakedness is, what is meant by what are some of the mistakes they make again, where we have to explain from the main scripture. They can't teach brotherhood from the Bible because they are not the ones who experience living in Jerusalem. What else?
I can't tell you that Christ black. I mean,
Even when that one is plain in the face in the Bible that Christ is black, they deliberately went and paint images of Christ being the image where you have now as Christ. They deliberately did that because what they were doing is setting up their empire. All right, you want to set up your empire, so why not go and set up your empire and leave us alone? Because one thing they also realize is that if there any nation out there who desire to rule the world, have to have you in subjection.
yeah.
Right? That is one thing that they realize, which is why China can go on all they want. They will never rule the world. As a matter of fact, him economy in a little rut right now, which if what they're talking about happens, it's going to affect the entire world. But probably that is the trigger for World War III. Because the most I say China is washed up. The coronavirus started there. Many other viruses came from there. So maybe their economic downfall is going to, what's the other word they use? Recession. Maybe their economic recession is going to trigger World War III because them really set, they're really poised to invade. What country they been? Taiwan. They're really poised to invade Taiwan. And all those puzzles just moving in place. America pulling himself out of Afghanistan. And not really running really hard leave Afghanistan, but he have to prepare himself for the next big war to come. A bigger war than what he was doing in Afghanistan, which was sucking his money, which probably wasn't so much of a problem if him not fighting any other war. But when those wars come and that country still sucking his money, you're going to put him in a little problem. So you just let it go. That is sense. Now they are the ones. They are seeing into them and see what is happening. one way or another, you're going to have some major upset in this world. And it is prophesied already in Revelation. So they can pump as much money they want into what is happening. It's gonna just come in like a vacuum. You ever hear they talk about what the word they use again? Bottomless pit. Which means that no matter what you throw in, they just can't full up. Well, that's how the world is. That's how the money is going to be gobbled up until the war start. America approve much $1 trillion worth of spending. You know, that is to try and avert the crisis that is happening across the world. But it's gonna appear to ease the problem a bit, and then it goes right back to square one again. Right. Now, I think we did a class one time and talk about the fiat money, which means that money where you really earn, you just print it and use it. That's what America does, you know. Just print money and use it. And anybody around the world who don't want to use it, they make war with them. Right? So back to Romans 8 and 35.
Let's jump to 36.
No, 35, man. Talk about tribulation, which we say is what we just explained, you know, is the tribulation to come. Right? Tribulation to come, distress, persecution is
gun. Persecution, hostility, and ill treatment, especially because of race or political or religious belief.
right. So our political religious belief totally different from Rome.
Yeah.
And visibly, obviously, we are of a different race. So we are persecuted from 70 AD because of the strength that we have. We have certain knowledge and strength flowing through us that takes any country out of the darkness that they are in. We took Europe out of darkness by one, being their slaves, and two, prior to being their slaves, we were their rulers.
Yeah.
We run the middle class, and then they put us, the Most High deliver us to them in slavery. Because through all that, we were still breaking his laws. It says our famine. I think we know what famine is.
Yeah.
Right? Our nakedness. So now, because it's a famine or nakedness, now you take a nakedness and now, like, you know, it's only clothes. But there is also a spiritual side to nakedness, which is losing your culture.
Okay.
In our case, simply the Most High punishing us. So we look on that side too. So not even that, nor peril, nor the sword, which is the war, can separate Christ's love from us. Meaning, even when we were spiritually naked, going through slavery and things, he still loved us. The man today who going through famine and no clothes, Christ still love him. Right? All right. Go to Nahum. All right, I'm going to see if I this one more. All right, read Nahum chapter 3, verse 5.
Select verse 5.
Can.
Can everyone can? This is the book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame.
Right, so this is talking about, all right, who is it talking about? Let's read that from 1.
Can everyone can? This is the book of Nahum, chapter 3, verse 1. Woe to the bloody city! It is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departed not.
All right, what is it? What is he talking? Nahum chapter 3 here was talking about Nineveh. Remember Nineveh, who was sent to prophesy unto Nineveh?
Jonah.
Jonah was prophesying was the prophet sent to Nineveh to warn them. Nineveh was a country under the, what you call the Arabs them again? Iran is who again? Persia. Nineveh was a Persian kingdom then. Was a kingdom between Media and Persia. I think it fell on Nineveh fell on the Persian side. Who was in the Persian captivity? Us. Right, I remember that was from Babylon, Babylonian captivity. Who took over Babylon? Media Persia. So from the Persian captivity, we were in their cities. That's how they make money off us in the city. They don't even have a chain, you know. Just by being in the city, your natural ability to survive as an Israelite is going to make them make money. Your creativity is going to come up flat foot hustling. What are some of the creativity that our oppressor here in Jamaica made money from? With jerk chicken. All of the where you call the hotel them there again? All inclusive. All the all inclusive hotels. If they don't have jerk chicken in there, the tourists them not come. Right? Elsha come up with what? Festival. Festival and fry fish. What happened? That is now in a box selling. You can make money off that. Right? Reggae music. Then find a way to package it and export it abroad. You just think of our culture, which the system makes money from. Not to mention fashion. A lot of the fashion out there modeled from how we start to dress. Saggy pants, where the prisoner them in America, your pants sag because when you get locked up, they take away your belt. That's how saggy pants come in, you know. When you're in jail, you can't wear belt. So your pants, unless you had on a pants and fit to your waist prior to that, your pants sag. They start make that in style. Because those men now start to wear the saggy pants out there in the street. Designers see it and those are the things that sell. So this was from them time in Nineveh and all them cultures way back. That's how they make money from you. You were the ones who get up early in the morning, bust your shot, go to work, open up the boss business, go in there and work, make record of how much money you sell, what stock him have, and making money while him wherever I want to be in this world. You are making money for him. He doesn't Sometimes for weeks he hasn't been into his business. He just look on the books.
God.
So his mind is now, he's making money and his mind is now free to do other things.
Yeah.
Right? You pay his taxes and everything for him and pay yourself and give him his money. So they make money from you in every city, in every captivity. Right. So when they say woe to the bloody city, this was talking about name Nineveh. I will drop back down to 5. Behold, I am against thee, said the Lord of hosts. I will discover thy skirt upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness. Now, this is talking about a city. What? City wear clothes?
Yeah.
So, what kind of nakedness is this talking about?
Talking about the sins and the crime of that city.
Right, it's talking about the underbelly of this city, the things that they are making money from, which is unlawful, and the acts of this city, which is unlawful. Right. So he will show the nation, and same thing about to Babylon too, you know. Show the nations what really is going on in other words, when you look at America, what you see? Beautiful cities, right? A place that you would want to be.
Yeah.
So that is the image that is out there. What really is happening in America?
Only for crime against our people, injustice, everything we can think of.
All right. George Floyd death would spark the massive march in every city in America.
Like I guess what is a lot of Israelite eyes drive like
That George Floyd death. And not only Israelites, the other nations. What else happening there which expose what's happening? We went to Akuna.
Yeah.
Even though they were showing on their news how many Asians trying to cross over the border, they give the impression like these people trying to come in illegally, so we have to have our border man running them back and thing. We went in and we organized these people and gave them food and thing and show that these people aren't as uncivilized as the oppressor wants them to look. So I'm shaming, move them fast. So these these things that is really happening in there, unlawful things that is really happening in the city, these are the things that really make the city run. What else was exposed during the coronavirus pandemic? Because black people don't have on the chain like one time. We say we are free, then it, and we say we even help glorify America. There's no country like ours. It's just like a slave being at a all white competition, but he was there as slave. Who you think he going to cheer for? Who will he be cheering for? His master. And the master win and him, yeah, feel good and thing. He can't partake in there. He was brought there to serve his master. So it's the same thing with America. We are in America, cheering on America, but we are the slaves in America. COVID exposed that. COVID exposed that it's the black cities that are really making the money in America. Remember when the country shut down and then they want to restart the country, they were opening the black cities first, and people started, they want to kill us. Then why are they opening our city first? And then when you read the fine print and you listen to some of the interviews, check your files when I'm learning. You listen to some of the interviews, Then he realized that they had to start the black cities first because that is where the money generated to pump into the other cities to get the other white majority states running. Georgia. They say New York money run bust about 5 different, it's not about 5, probably about 15 different states. Money from New York were generated New York, spread out. California, money from California run other states. Who is plentiful in California?
Hispanics.
Thank you. Might not see black Americans are there, but California was Mexico too. Mexico, I think, did go as far as that. Texas, California, right? So the Mexicans that were in California became Americans overnight. So they talk about Mexicans trying to cross their border. Really, they move the border and put the people in there. So when the others they want to go look for them people, now it's then going into a different country basically. You get me? So that's the nakedness that this one is talking about now. 2 different nakedness. This one is you probably could call this one more spiritual because it's what is you see a woman dress and look good, and you look upon her and say, I really like to take off the clothes there now. And your data, you go through the ropes. Let's say even in the truth, you go through your 1-year rule, and then that day come now you really unrobe her. You expose her nakedness, and you see what is really happening under that sexy figure that you were seeing. You see all the cellulites, you see all the big belly. Because maybe she used to wear, what you call it up there?
The waist trainer.
She used to wear waist trainer and she used to wear makeup. You wake up beside her one morning and you see what she really look like without the makeup and without the wig and without the nails. Right? That is her true self. You know, see? Right? Maybe the first night you decide to stay with her or she come by your place after you finish whatever. And you see her take out the false teeth and you realize that she really have no real front teeth. Right? All that is her nakedness. Not exposing our private parts. Are you the man private parts? That's why it's called private. Right? What is really happening in there? Now, what is really happening in in Jamaica? We talk about this so many times where they really cut the monies from the poor. That is part of Jamaica's nakedness. What is really happening in the tourist sector? Each year you have, what's the population of Jamaica? 9. You're right. They call it 2.9. Probably it's about 3 million, right? 2 point something. Even if you want to call it 3 million, more tourists come to Jamaica every year than the population of Jamaica. When last you see one tourist? When last you see a tourist?
Yeah, so I really see them from the lockdown.
You used to see them?
Before the lockdown?
Mm.
A little bit because
Where?
Bobo is a tourist attraction. Yeah.
Oh yes, forgot to see the road aside there. So the Bobo Hill. They want them travel to Bobo Hill. Right. So you see them because them want to go Bobo Hill.
Yeah.
But we, the cities that are on the southern side of Jamaica, these major towns, there was a time when you used to see tourists walk through them.
Right.
So what is really happening in the tourist industry? They bring in these what you call it, all inclusives, bring in the tourists, The tourists stay in the hotel for the entire time. If I go to America, why would I go to America?
A better life.
I mean, visit. Why would you visit America?
For the work. Work.
Work, or if you're going to
experience.
if you go to America for a month or two, why would you be doing that? To see America.
See.
Yeah. You want to see
What it's all about.
what America is all about. The same thing why tourists come to Jamaica. They want to see what is really happening in Jamaica. But what are they seeing? They've been locked in this environment. They see one jelly stall owned by millionaires. They set up like a shack, mimicking what is really happening outside there. They send it to a jerk, but the tourists don't know what the real pan chicken is. You have to really come from out that environment to experience what pan chicken really is. But him experience it in the all-inclusive. To him, it's a different taste from what he used to tasting out in his country. So, man, the chicken tastes good, right? And what they start to do now, the man on the street who do good pan chicken, they start to get them covered. They pay them to come in the all-inclusive to work for them. So them take time and get back the flavor in it. But where jerk chicken really come from? Where jerk start in Jamaica? Mm-hmm. And which community? Really? St. Thomas. Where they are Portland. Where the community name again? Boston. Boston or Portland? Portland, right. In Portland. Just above St. Thomas. Boston. Right? Pork is unlawful, but that's where it started. And it spread throughout all the, and who have it now? Thank you. You used to have to go to Boston to taste real jerk.
Boston is a tourist attraction.
It used to be, I don't know if it still is. Then learn the jerk chicken from the man, them and it's in the all-inclusive. Now a man can stay in America and buy one. Jerk seasoning, bottled. Who do it? It's not the poor Jamaican do it. So what is really happening in the tourist industry? They are making the money off you. They don't want you, and this is what Commanding General Leon and General Myman talk about all the time. They don't want you, but they want what you have. Everything that you have, even the saggy pants, right? But they don't want you. So that is the true nakedness of Jamaica and what is really happening in the tourist industry. They take everything, but they don't take you. It's just a matter of time before they start, if they don't probably start with it already, bring in other nations to come and work in the tourism industry. That already. Same thing. But true, we're not going all inclusive, we don't know. Well, it depends, you know. Because if you're in the hotel and you want Chinese cuisine, you might see a Chinese chef. You want Indian cuisine, you might see an Indian chef. But the workers around the hotel. So in the all-inclusive now, and maybe that's the only reason why they keep the Jamaicans in the all-inclusive, so that the tourists can still stay in the all-inclusive and see a real Jamaican. Why? A real Jamaican only sweep up a place and spread the bed and something. That's a false, that is another false narrative of a true Jamaican. Outside of that, how else they hear about Jamaican? Crime and violence. We can't even say music again because of that lockdown. Eh? But the tourists really want to come and see a real Jamaican getting up, going to work in the hustle, going into work, working as a CEO in a place, working as a street sweeper. You understand? Working as a doctor, in the court, working as a lawyer, working as the judge. right? Tourists don't see those things.
Mm.
The Jamaica that they see is you being a slave, right? So that's the true nakedness of Jamaica. The selling out on the beach and so on. But it's called nakedness. But does Jamaica wear clothes? No. So it's the Bible is using a figure of speech here. Yeah.
So, okay, just to add to what you said,
Mm.
the only thing them see for Jamaica is supposed to be slave because when you go like tourists hotels that hotels them
Mm.
they serve them like slaves.
That's what I'm saying.
Right. You just have to say like every one.
That is what them see you doing.
God.
They don't get the experience of going out there and seeing you. All right. When they are in the all inclusives, I even the regular hotel. They pass, they see the Jamaican acknowledge them. They walk on the street, they go on the street in the smaller hotels that are not all inclusive. But they always tell them, where to go and where not to go. So they pass on the street, every Jamaican and say, "What's up, man? You're enjoying your time in Jamaica, man?" Say, "Yeah, man." No, the regular Jamaicans there, so now see tourists, it come to them. So they're nice to them. But what they really want to see, the Jamaican who take past him and not see him, been busy going about in business. And look for him and cut him eye. And give him a dirty look. Right? That's the true Jamaicans he want to see. He may have been business all over, but he have no time for you and your vacationing out here. They don't see that. What they see is the Jamaican who is there, who is being their servants. Yeah. They go in a bar, a Jamaican come, "What are you doing, man? What going on, man?" Say, "You want 2 beer? All right." Bring him, carrying 2 beer, come sell him. Collect him money. So what man left a tip no man? Where you going, so? All right, see a tip here. Those Jamaicans are serving them. They don't want to see the real Jamaican, not the one with the gun still, But the one who go out there, work, a cop, and not even the cop in the tourist area, the cop on the south coast, so, our central area America, right? Who's going to treat the tourists just like another person? You break the line, handcuff your backside, and put you in a jail, right? That nakedness though is more spiritual than physical. All right. That's Nahum. Then there the Genesis 3 and 7.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 7. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
So this nakedness now again with Adam and Eve was more spiritual. It's not that case that then see that there, but many have on clothes, not this garment. So what is it talking about? Spiritual. In other words, I think General Myman talk about this too. Thursday. Yeah, right. Officer Kayadwan. Thursday gone. Yeah, when he was talking about oh no, lie. It wasn't Thursday. It was yesterday. You mentioned. Anyways, what this nakedness here now is talking about is Adam and Eve were just obeying what the Most High was saying. The Most High gave him a command, then do it. They do it. Do this, do that. It is done. They didn't know what it was like to not do what God said.
Okay, so that's why they eat the fruits.
All right? The Most I tell them, say, the fruit is not a literal fruit, though. All right. And that eating was gathering knowledge. Eat it up. You read a book, you're eating up the book. All right. Man say, why we are do road? We eat up the road. Meaning what? He's traveling. Right. So Adam and Eve, the most I tell them, don't study this constellation of stars. Study this one. They didn't know what it was like to go and study this constellation, what the Most I say you must not study. All they knew all along was to do what the Most I say. But the serpent, who was the white man, come to him, and the same spirit upon the white man, upon Esau, come to him and say, what God tell us? Well, the most that God, evil man say, God said we should just eat from this tree, and we should not eat from this tree. And say, really? You know why no I eat from that tree then? Because he knows you're coming like him. I mean, trick off something in our head. The same way when a man want mash up your family and try to do it through your woman. Start pack up already some whole part foolishness. Right? But try to tell her, say, yeah, look a woman beautiful like you. You should not be doing this. You should not be doing that. I can take better care of you. You have your 4 or 5 picking in your yard, you know, which now follow you each time you dress and go on road. You know. Him see you. Pack up your head with foolishness. Then you go home and start make trouble. Mash up your life. Him get couple slap after you. Then when him realize that you have children. How much picking you got? So how you look so good? And so till engross you. While you mash up your life. Similar thing with Adam and Eve, man. When the serpent come to Eve, you know, it's the same narrative that him push on Eve they use in Egypt and other kingdoms where they make the woman and call her God. And talk about the woman is God and so on and so on. Even today, you hear somebody Rasta man them with it, with that stupid narrative. Right? Which way the woman needs guidance. There's never a kingdom out there where a woman go and overthrow and take over and peer woman run it. They need guidance because they can be beguiled. Right. You can go and pack up. You want pack up a woman with them think that you are really a queen and so and so and then treat you like a queen, you know. You get everything you want from her. Right? That's how they generally beguile a woman. That's what the serpent did in the garden. To beguile her, tell her, say, if you eat from this tree, you're gonna be like God. So Eve went and did what she was not supposed to do. And of course, the only person that woman can beguile after the man out the road beguile her is you who in our house. Can't go to nobody else with that them stupid story there. But because your ears is right behind at her mouth when you lay down. You spit out the nastiness where the next man will tell him all the foolishness in your ears. So Eve went and spit out all the nastiness in Adam's ears. And say, so you can read the constellation there. Yeah, man, the serpent come and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to do it. I'm still alive. See me alive here. Adam, now, you know out of the love for your wife, and you really love her. Say, hey, let me see, show me what you do now. Yeah, man. And they show you the 630 and the back shot when you learn how to road now, and you go and you do it with it. And what happened now? You fall in the sin. Ain't it? You fall in the sin. That happened to Adam, man. It wasn't sex. Eve went and happened. When Eve simply just did what the Most High told her not to do.
Like I said, after she ate the fruit and she find out say she never have no clothes.
We'll get to that. What what is the no clothes? What happened to you what happened to your hand if you push your hand in fire?
But
All right. How you know say burn?
you feel it.
It ever burn you?
Eh?
Fire ever burn you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before?
Yeah.
Yeah, fire burn over behind it.
All right. So you get the experience.
Fine.
What was happening in the garden is that Adam and Eve was not supposed to know what it is like to push their hand in fire. You know that you must not push your hand in fire because you do it and it burn you, don't? Or you went too close to it and you feel the heat. So Adam and Eve was not supposed to know what happens when they disobey the Most High. Just like we as Israelites, those curses was there to teach us what happens when we disobey the Most High. All right? So what was happening, Adam and Eve, there were other nations in the garden, which the Bible called kingdom. We do have Genesis breakdown at some other time. There were other nations in there. Adam and Eve was reigning over those nations because they were the ones who the Most High teach how to get the knowledge from reading the stars. Not bowing down to the stars, not worshiping the stars, but reading this certain constellation of stars, which teach them how to farm, how to, what else you would need? How to, mainly planting. Man, all right, man knows that spring begins when?
Spring, I think.
Between April, May, and time.
How we know that?
Yes, I see all the trees then.
All right. So you can make preparations for spring. But every day, when I look out the door, every day look the same. So how you know when it's spring? All right. But that is when it's already there. What are the signs you look for? You can look for to know when spring is coming.
Rain or fall.
One other thing you can do, you can count the moons, the amount of full moon. Right? You can count the amount of full moon. What are the things you do when springtime comes? Plant.
Plant, clean up your place and plant the thing.
No, if you're a farmer, what you do when springtime comes? You plant.
You plant, yeah.
All right. But within that 1 year cycle, there are other times in which you can plant. How you know? All right, fine. You might not know, but there are ways to know. Those were the things Adam and Eve was learning. You have one almanac, one farmer's almanac, where you can use to know when to plant peas, when to plant corn, when to plant pumpkin, and so on and so forth. Those were the things Adam and Eve was learning from the stars, the moon in the garden. So they now were flourishing in the garden.
You count the stars and the moons.
You count the full moon to know when you have a 1 year cycle in the world. So the Most High was teaching them that. That is what they were learning in the garden. What's the best place to learn but in a garden? Because you have to eat. And it was called a garden because it wasn't out there in a forest. The trees were kept and so on. It looked like persons habited there. They have most likely probably have them shed their house or whatever they lived in then. But there were other nations in the garden. Because when you read other books, it tell about the other nations in the garden. The Bible call them trees in the garden. So who came to the Adam and Eve to beguile them was a next nation man. Right? And that serpent spirit is the same one that is on the white man. In a Revelation, it says that serpent of old, that dragon, right? So the same spirit that was on the serpent in the garden that is on Esau's generation, beguiling people. Just like I'm going to beguile the Afghanistan, them say the Taliban is no good and blah, blah, blah. And who did it now? Who is there now? All right. So what Adam and Eve learned then was that nakedness was, I am nothing without this knowledge. And if the Most High, they won't go hide because they will now realize that they did something that the Most High told them not to do. If you ever have children, you would understand Adam and Eve little more. When they do something where they know they're not supposed to do, you come in, then they run concrete, they go hide. And you start wondering and say, so and so, where are you? They're not answering until you find them. And say, okay, what you do now? I don't do nothing. And you drill them, talking about the child. Drill the child till he tell you. Well, that was Adam and Eve, innocent child. So that child now learn, probably for the first time, what it is, and then you scold the child because he really do something when he shouldn't do. So he learn what happens when he disobey you. So Adam and Eve became naked in that they are now learning what happened when they disobey God. You understand? All right, that was it. We finish it, we read all of it. They sow fig leaves. Yeah, man, seven. They sow fig leaves together and made themselves aprons. All right. Put it in this way. Adam and Eve now learn that they are an Israelite. All right? Just like when a man now learns I'm an Israelite, that first thing you hear them say most time. They don't know Israelite. Right. Feel happy if you associate himself as being an Israelite. Because what it means to be an Israelite. It means you can't celebrate Christmas. You can't celebrate Easter. You can't eat pork. You can't smoke. You can't go sleep with wolves. All the things then where your mind find as fun in the world, being an Israelite means that you don't do those things. Wow. Eh? Right? Just like they said in Maccabees 1, when they say, since we have departed from the nations, what will go again? Since we have departed from the nations,
Much sorrow.
Right, we have had much sorrows. Yeah. Maccabees chapter 1. Yeah. What was that sorrow?
Them not being able to sing and all them things.
Right. So no Christmas celebration. Don't children love, and you the adult too, don't you used to love celebrate Christmas because that's the time when you go from house to house and eat food and drink this and roll up a liquor and thing. Okay. Right. But we have our celebration as Israelites too. Right. Passover and all those feast days. But celebrating these heathen customs, that demand you forgot church, Because Christmas Day you must go on church. You go out and go enjoy yourself. But as an Israelite, you must go to the holy convocation when you're celebrating your Passover. It's a must that you be there. Verse if you're a male, unless you're going through some period of unclean. So walking the road as an Israelite was more challenging. It demands more of you, right? So what Adam and Eve learned then was that what they were doing all along was more demanding of them. But they go now and they do what they are not supposed to do, get the knowledge that they are not supposed to do, and learn what it is like to disobey the Most High. So the Most High now sew fig leaves together and made aprons, made them aprons. What the Most High do? Give them their own culture. No. Right? You being in the garden, you know, they didn't have a culture. They just do what God said.
Right.
And them doing what God said was what allowed them to reign over the other nations. But the other nations are always jealous of you reigning and prospering and find ways to beguile you. Just like in when the Japanese general there, our king, was telling in the book name again, Judith, was telling the invader at the time how Israel run. Say if they're not sin, you can't defeat them, you know. Right? So what the Most High do now was to give them a culture. You have a culture now. You're coming back to the Most High. You learn that you should be in fringes. You learn, fringes is your garment. You learn that you must follow the Most High's laws, His laws, statutes, commandments. You learn. What else you learn since being in the truth? What else you learn since being in the truth?
Learn how to be brotherhood, how to conduct yourself, how to read your Bible.
So you're learning a culture which is you now.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the Most High now sewing you back your fig leaf on you.
Yeah.
Right? To cover you, cover your nakedness. That is, what was the nakedness? You out there sinning.
Yeah.
Everybody could have seen the evil person that you are. The murderer, the warmonger, the weed smoker. Everybody saw that in you. Right? And what? But you were naked. So the Most High gave them fig leaves. Leviticus 18, 1 to 17.
God. Verse 1 to
17.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, verse 2, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your God. Verse 3, After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwell, shall ye not do, and after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. Verse 4.
All right, so this is now the Most High giving us this command. The Most High giving us this command. What are we reading? Leviticus, right.
18.
Right.
Verse 3.
Right. Giving us this command to follow His laws. So in going into another kind of nakedness now. Continue.
Verse 4. He shall do my judgments and keep mine ordinances to walk therein. I am the Lord your God. Verse 5. He shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord.
Right. If you same thing he was basically saying to Adam and Eve. If you follow these laws, you shall live in them. So that is the live. But continue.
Verse 6. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him, to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord.
All right. So you're not supposed to go to no near of kin. Your sisters, your brothers, your uncle, your auntie, your parents. That is now a nakedness of the person. To uncover their nakedness. The Bible, you're going and having sex with this person. But the Bible describes it as you uncovering their nakedness. Right. Because that is when you know if it's really a man or a woman under the clothes that you're looking at. Of course. Right. That is why again Leviticus 18.
7.
Continue.
Verse 7. Nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother.
Right. So you must not go and sleep with your father and don't sleep with the mother. Continue.
Shall thou not uncover? She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness.
All right. 8.
Verse 8. The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover.
So you,
thy father's nakedness.
so you, the son now, don't go sleep with the father woman. Right. Continue.
Verse 9. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad. Even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover.
Right. So because the sister not grow with you now, you say, I really grow with him them close to me. We can't go sleep with her. No. Because you not covering her nakedness is not because you never did know her as a sister. It's the bloodline. The bloodline is important. You know, white people try to tell you whenever try to get you on their side in Christianity, then speak as if, the bloodline, not all that important. It's spiritual. So your bloodline as an Israelite is important also, because you and Christ is of a similar bloodline. To them, out of their jealousy, no, that doesn't matter. It's who subject themselves to Christ. Who as Israelite, kinsman redeemer, or Christ will be their kinsman redeemer. Christ isn't their kinsman. Kinsman redeemer means that the person is of your bloodline, and he's redeeming you from the debt that you are in, because your estate is in problem. So we have laws on that, or we can redeem them. And Christ is the kinsman redeemer. So if they are not of the bloodline of Christ, so Christ is supposed to redeem them. Right?
Okay.
So they tell you all these things because they were not the ones in Jerusalem walking the road. We were the ones walking. When the Bible says, and the Moabites invaded the land of Egypt, the land of the Israelites, and took them captive. Who women take captive? The white man. So the bloodline went down and take captive. In Maccabees, when it says, First Maccabees, the Grecians came into Jerusalem and they killed left, right, and center and take the women and children captive. And who mean take captive? All that believed in Israel. One nation, the Israelites. Bloodline. Bloodline is important. When Paul was sent to redeem those bloodline which was taken captive from the time in the Isles of the Greeks, who at the time of Paul now run by Rome. Those isles were run by Rome. What the books, the Thessalonia, the Thessalonica, the Colossians, and so on. In those books you see in the New Testament, our letters, those were Israelites who were spread in the cities of these isles. So they were the ones who these cities were actually making money from. But Paul was sent to redeem them. They were out there living in nakedness, living the life of a Gentile. He was sent to redeem them. And what happened? Paul went to the bloodline. We are in Jamaica. How did we get here? Slave ship.
Yeah.
All right. Jamaica is for everybody. How are they able to differentiate between you who was enslaved and the man who was not from the nation of the slave to make him make the money and you don't make the money? How they do that? Bloodline. So why is it when Christ should come to redeem his people who going through all these atrocities, bloodline no matter that time? See? So Psalms 147, 19 and 20 is so true.
Yeah.
All right, verse what now?
Verse 7.
No man, you read 7 already and you read 8.
10.
10. Right, the 9 talk about your sister was born either here, you were home or born abroad. Same bloodline. So whether we're born in Jerusalem or we're born on the coast of Africa or we're born in Jamaica, same bloodline. Israelites. 18. Sorry, 10 now.
Verse 10. The nakedness of thy son's daughter, or of thy daughter's daughter, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover, for theirs is thine own nakedness.
All right, there is one.
For theirs is thine own nakedness.
That is 11 nakedness of thy father's wife, daughter. So your father, wife, Pitney, begotten of thy father.
Okay, verse 10.
10.
Continue.
Nakedness of thy son's daughter, or of thy daughter's daughter. Even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. Who is this talking to now? He's talking to the father. So don't go sleep with your son, Pitney. Now your son, Pitney.
Okay.
Right? Don't go sleep with them. They are your nakedness. They are your loins. They have your loins. That is how this talking. Oh, we have this talking amongst us here in Jamaica. Man, we do them things they call them what? Family Ram.
Yeah.
Right. That's a nickname for them. Continue, verse 11.
Verse 11. The nakedness of thy father's wife, daughter, begotten of thy father, she is thy sister. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Verse 12. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister. She is not thy father's near slacker. She is thy father's near kids, woman.
The father what?
Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister.
All right, so your father's sister is who to you?
Auntie.
Your aunt.
Okay.
So don't go sleep with your auntie, or else your family ram.
God.
All right. So this law here is telling you everything will make you be family ram.
Yeah.
Right.
God, verse 30. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, for she is thy mother's near kinswoman.
So she is what to you too.
She's an aunt.
And your auntie that too.
God.
So you can't sleep with your sister, can't sleep with the mother, can't sleep with the father, can't sleep with your if you have generations, can't sleep with the grandparents them. Continue.
God, verse 40. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's brother. Thou shalt not approach to his wife. She is thy aunt. Thine aunt.
Right. So that's your auntie-in-law.
Yeah.
Right. Not the same blood, but is your uncle's woman. Don't go sleep with your uncle woman. Continue.
God, verse 50. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy daughter-in-law. She is thy son's wife. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness.
Yeah, the what? Daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
So no. So you want right? Daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
So you go sleep with the daughter-in-law. You what to? Family ram.
Yeah.
I use family ram for all of them, you know. And that is what we call them in Jamaica. You tell her, once you mention that term, you know, funny enough, you know, once you mention that term here in Jamaica, a man know you're talking about it. Means he knows that you are saying you are sleeping with your relative, right?
Yeah.
Continue.
God. So, verse 60. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy brother's wife. It is thy brother's nakedness.
Your brother wife is what? Your sister-in-law.
Yeah.
So you can't slap your sister-in-law. That make your family ram too.
Yeah.
Continue.
God, verse 17. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter, neither shalt thou take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness, for they are her near kinswoman. It is wickedness.
All right.
Verse 18.
Well, and
Slack.
17 is saying you shall not cover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter. Ever your old time people say you can't sleep with the cow and the calf. Right. That is what it mean now. You can't slap the mother and the picnic. You can't do that. That is incest. So basically Leviticus 18 give you the laws to take you out of incest. Prevent you from being incestuous in the population of the Israelites. What incest breeds is deformity.
Yeah.
I remember the Most High's promise to us is that there shall be none among you that is handicapped, deformed, barren, or so on. Incest cause those things.
Okay, so that's why the rule is so strict against them kind of people that come in and tempt in the congregation.
In the congregation, yes. Or to priest, to be a priest. The man can come to the congregation, but you can't be a priest with certain deformities. Incest normally causes them. Right. So once you're as an Israelite enjoy in the time of not the curse time, but being in sync with the Most High, the persons who you often see deform, so is most times incest cause it. Blood too rich, right? Which is why there were so many deformities in royal families. Because they want the whole of them to look alike. One of the things, is that when a king die and he leave the throne to his son look like him, so it look like him see one on the throne. So them figure say the richer the blood, the richer the more you keep it bloodline, the more is it just look like the one man a reign for much hundred of years, which is his sons. But because now them don't mix the bloodline, and then that DNA thing that they don't mix the bloodline, so they end up in those deformities, what's the right word? Handicaps, with some kind of handicap. All right. I break at 17. We go at Ezekiel 16 and 8. If you read all of Leviticus 18, it tells you about what you're not to do to cause that incest. It deals with incest. Leviticus 18 deals with incest. Ezekiel
16 or 6.
Hold on.
No, I mean the chapter.
Yeah, man. I mess up. Hold on. 16.
Okay.
Read 8. All right, let me see if we need to start at 8. We can put out. All right, 8 to 17.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 16, verse 8. Now, when I passed by thee and looked upon thee, behold, thy time was the time of love, and I spread my skirt over thee and covered thy nakedness. Yea, I swear unto thee and entered into a covenant with thee, saith the Lord God, our most high power, and thou becamest mine.
All right. What is being explained right here is the Most High explaining his relationship with us is just like making love. Right? A woman who is naked and don't even know that she's naked, and you go and say, hey, you're naked. Here, cover yourself with this. But here the Most High say, I spread my skirt over thee. God knows your skirt. Right? So what would that skirt represent now? Like the laws. And cover thy nakedness. Yea, I swear unto thee and entered into a covenant with thee. That was having give with the laws and going a covenant with us. What was happening in the other nations? They were sleeping with them one another. Incest was strong. I'm frightened of it still strong. Women being on their period, them sit down anyway. And then the men not really business. And it's still going on among the Africans today. Right? They eat anything. Just like you see Chinaman just kill one donkey and then go eat it. He gave us laws as to what to eat, or the woman should adorn and carry herself while she's on her monthly, and everything else that is supposed to separate us from all the other nations who are living in nastiness. Because one of the things when nastiness and eating anything bring is disease.
Right.
So if he is going to make us unto to him and we're supposed to rule well and all those fancy things, we can't be a nation ridden with disease. So the very laws, we conduct ourselves take us from disease. What is the cause of corona? Where it come from?
The eating of bats.
Right. So it came from bats.
God.
And there are other diseases that come from other unclean animals.
God.
That is why when our law say even when they die, they don't go angle the carcass. Because our laws, if you go and rule the world, you can't rule the world and you're sick. Right? So the most I expose the nakedness of them other nation now, show you how sick they are. They name anything, it can contaminate the whole world. Right?
God.
And because of their unfair practices in economics now, you have an economic crisis that is looming over the world, centered again in China. Maybe next year, this time, we'll be fully in it. Who knows? Something else will come next year, right? And maybe is that coupled with another strain of corona? Can you imagine? So, the most I hear explaining all this kind of nakedness, which is we as a people, just like how Adam and Eve became nakedness. This verse you can use that let's say him saying spread my skirt. That is like him sowing the fig leaf on you. Genesis is a fig leaf, here it's a skirt. But it's the same, it's describing the same thing happening. All right. 9.
Verse 9. Then wash I thee with water. Yea, I thoroughly washed,
Thoroughly. Truly.
washed away thy blood from thee, and I anointed thee with oil.
Right. Wash your blood from you. All right. In verse 7 now, Israel is being you have been described like a woman. He discovered you in the time of love. All right. And in see your nakedness. What was happening at that time? The Egyptians were oppressing our backside. And throughout all the oppression, we have here eat the nasty food, carry ourselves nasty. We stink like them. Probably I make him say wash thee with water. There's so much washing in our laws because we were among the Africans. And today we want to call ourselves Africans. Because we don't understand the scripture. They are filthy. Right? So he washed with water, truly wash away thy blood from thee. That blood would have been like the woman in our time, our monthly. So cleanse you, go through your cleansing, and anoint you with that. Clean you up. Verse 10.
Verse 10. I clothe thee also with broidered work, and shod thee with badger skin, and I girded thee about with fine linen, and I covered thee with silk.
So him not just put any guy, and give you the laws, but what the laws that made you look so glorious. It brought glory unto you. Broidered work, that dressing, what I describe, dressing you like a king as a people. Right? Verse 11.
Verse 11. I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hands, and a chain on thy neck.
Right. So during the time of Solomon, we experienced all this glory. I remember when Queen of Sheba came into Jerusalem and saw one of King Solomon's servant and thought that it was the king. Probably it was just one of his ministers. Well, most likely it would be one of his ministers because obviously that was somebody who they brought her to, who should bring her to the king. But when she went there, she bowed and everything, thought it was the king. Said, no, this is not the king. Said, really? And dressed so glorious? Just imagine the kingdom of heaven, what it's going to be like. Right? You want to wear chain for your, you want to have chain, you want to have golden shoes lace? You probably can. Understand me? This is this same order describe here. You're going right back to that glorifying days. King Solomon was so rich that he made stones of gold and put in them streets. That's why the thieving people them come in there and destroy the Babylonians. Can you imagine? So there were so many gold. You can imagine you in a city and gold is always legal tender. And you say, I want to travel to XYZ place and just go out the road and take up a couple stones of gold and go and travel. Eh? Then you're in a city like that, you're in a kingdom like that. You're not supposed to make no other barefoot boy from what the road come tell us, say, how are you not doing this? I said, well, we're living great. I said, not a great living that, man. Come on, tell something show you great living. Right? Like how the serpent beguiled Eve and make Eve and Adam fell from grace so much so that they couldn't get no more knowledge. So you know what Adam and Eve had to do? Go look walk from the same people them who beguile them. You know, have to go work for them. Ain't that what we do? Yeah. When we don't listen to God and then punish we turn around and have to go work for the same people them who we used to reign over. All right. So continue, verse 12?
Verse 12. And I put a jewel on thy forehead and earrings in thine ears and a beautiful crown upon thy head.
All right, so this is how much in depth we and the crown, where the crown and the head generally signify rulership, right? 13.
Verse 13. Thus was thou decked with gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen and silk and broidered work. Thou didst eat fine flour and honey and oil, and thou was exceedingly beautiful, and thou didst prosper into a kingdom.
Times of Solomon, this is talking about, man. We were glorious as a people. Yeah. We were that kingdom is so glorious that it is being talked about even today. America wasn't still nothing compared to it. As rich as they be, right? Yeah. That when Jerusalem was in its glory, outshines America. America now on stones of gold or silver or any precious stone and them ground, right? Yeah. All of them trade in Wall Street, making you slaves to them. Continue.
Verse 14. And thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty, for it was perfect through my comeliness, which I had put upon thee, said the Lord. God.
All right.
Most High power.
Most High made us beautiful among the heathens. 15.
Verse 15. But thou didst trust in thine own beauty, and placed the harlot because of thy renown, and pouredst out thy fornication on everyone that passed by. As it was.
See? In all this beauty and thing now, the nation them see and thing. First thing them don't know why married King Solomon. Always want a glorious black man, innit? Yeah. And Solomon take the bait and went and married the daughters of other kingdoms, which the Most High said we mustn't do. Right? So he did that, and the kingdom fell. What started happening now? Those women wanted their God temple to be built in Jerusalem, which Solomon did in his old days. Yeah. So Solomon started to keep Christmas, start to follow Easter. So now I got Passover again in them. I got Easter service and Christmas service and Thanksgiving and Valentine's. Talk about God of love and You know, they didn't have religion surrounded with harlotry. Yeah, man. Remember which other religion they had which require you, you know, you can pay money to get the blessings. You can pay a priest the money and you go and sleep with one of the Vestal virgins, then call them, but you know, no virgin and them harlot in there. But the young girls. And then the blessing will come on you. You understand? Open harlotry that you know. And Solomon fell for it. So this is what is being described here. We play the harlot, we've gone into every other religion. 16.
Verse 16. And of thy garments thou didst take, and deckest thy high place with diverse colors, and place the harlot thereon. The like thing shall not come, neither shall it be so.
All right. The like thing shall not come, neither shall it be so. All right. So what did we do now? Here talk about thy high places with diverse colors. You ever see the Hindu religion when they must celebrate Diwali? They place pretty different colors and lights and things. Those are the things that we took onto because it married women from them, the nation there. So they are going to bring their finest into your kingdom to attract your people. And if the king is going there, everybody else will go. Ain't it? Yeah, everybody else will go. All right, continue.
Verse 17. Thou hast also taken thy fair jewels of my gold and of my silver, which I had given thee, and made it to thyself images of men, and didst commit whoredom with them.
Hmm. So it talking about we going into a whoredom where we actually having sex with them. No, we're going into another religion. Most I describe that as whoredom. Right? Drop down to 36. Read 35 and 36.
Verse 35. Wherefore, O harlot, hear the words of the Lord.
So that's where the most I start calling it war. Because spiritually we become war. Means that you're there so you treat your woman good. Give her everything you have. But you want to see what go another man's house.
Yeah.
She go and experience that, then she wants to go see what happened in another man's house. She has become a harlot under your hand. That's what we did with the Most High. 36.
Verse 36. Thus saith the Lord God, because thy filthiness was poured out, and thy nakedness discovered through thy whoredom with thy lovers, and with all the idols of thy abominations, and by the blood of thy children, which thou didst give unto them.
All right. All right, we'll close it. We'll finish with 37.
Verse 37. Behold, therefore I will gather all thy lovers, with whom thou hast taken pleasure, and all them that thou hast loved, with all them that thou hast hated. I will even gather them round about against thee, and will discover thy nakedness unto them, that they may see all thy nakedness.
So same people them where you go whore upon God with, when he's now exposing you and mashing and destroy your kingdom and thing, you will gather all of them to come look on your nakedness. When him take away the laws from you and put you to suffer. Isn't that what happened to us? All the nations are seeing how we are, they come in America and they see how the blacks in America, how Judah is living. In a while, you soon see the Afghans in America scoffing at the black Americans in their own place. That's what he did to us in Jerusalem. All right. Number 38 say.
Verse 38. And I will judge thee as women that break wedlock and shed blood, are judged. And I will give thee blood in fury and jealousy.
This is what the Most High said he was gonna do with us. All right. 39 explain what we came into now. We 39.
Verse 39. Verse 39. And I will also give thee into their hand, and they shall throw down thine eminent place, and shall break down thy high place. They shall strip thee also of thy clothes, and shall take thy fair jewels, and leave thee naked and bare.
That's what they did to us. They take everything, left us with nothing. The city gone, Jerusalem was a rich. You know, me always wonder, gold can't rotten. Gold is not something that rots. So this very gold that we had in Jerusalem, it's still here in the earth. Where is it? Most of you gather back all right, you know. Everything coming right back. Right. But because we played the war with him, this was right leading up to the Babylonian captivity. Right? Then leading up to the Babylonian captivity, then in restore Grecian captivity. Before the Grecian captivity, you have the northern kingdom was taken away by the Assyrians. Then the Grecian captivity, and it has just been captivity ever since, because we have not stopped playing the war and going into other religions of the other nation, which does not benefit us. Christianity benefit the white man. It bows your mind to go and work for him. A man who call himself a true Christian and so on, so it's the most honor to him to work for a white man. Have a white boss. And can go say yes, sir, to. Because in that person's mind, I'm saying yes, sir, to Christ. That's what the picture does. Right? But U.P.K under Christ come to break all the chains and teach you and bring unto you that glory again. Right? The earth was in a better state when we were ruling it. All right. Questions?
Slakia, back to your original point, the earlier point, Slakia, where you make when you said tourists, you know what I mean, them come to Jamaica and them don't know the real Jamaica, them only know us as slave. Slakia.
Right.
We think that we them love, you know. You know what I mean? Because we have a saying, you know, so white people love Jamaicans and the other aliens them love Jamaica. Yeah, but not really we them love, you know. Because when them come here, them either come for the dance hall, see? The music, the culture.
Yeah, there was a time when, before the all inclusive got so popular. You remember when Kingston used to have, what we used to call them, like them time you didn't have the dance or the doodles used to keep. Passa Passa and other communities have other dance. Tourists used to come and actually stay at hotels in Kingston and go to those dances. Right? A lot of Japanese came in, a lot of Edomites. I don't know much about the Indians and so on, but a lot of Japanese came in, and that them our next one too, because they came in, they really learned the reggae. The biggest reggae show on earth now is kept where?
Jamaica.
Which Jamaica? Which one that? Which show is that?
The biggest one?
Mm-hmm.
You have Verbal Salute and you have Sunfest.
In Jamaica?
Yeah.
When last some place keep?
Since the pandemic.
You know, keep.
Yeah.
All right. We also was known to have the biggest one night show in the world. That was Sting.
Sting, yeah. Go on.
Right.
Sting.
We had the biggest one night reggae show in the world. You know, the biggest reggae show keeping in the world now. The thing has some face again. Sunsplash used to be the biggest reggae show.
Back in the days.
You know, Bob Marley was behind Sunsplash.
God.
Reggae Sunsplash was Bob Marley, you know. And then fight out reggae Sunsplash out of Montego Bay and come up with some face won by other people. Right? Even though Bob Marley was a heathen too. But there was more Israelite associated with Sunsplash. Hotels book out. So when Sunsplash time, you can't, if you never reserve room in Montego Bay that week, you dare not get one. Not even the smallest hotel. It was a big thing. Everything book out. Foreigners come down. People from Kingston booking a hotel in a Montego Bay. It was good for the economy. Some fest probably do a similar thing, but the biggest reggae show now they're right now Japan Splash. Jamaican did that one. Everything Jamaican did that one, I go sing. Some of the artists them get the opportunity. Who they love? Who big in Japan?
And Jamaican artists are
Jamaican artists. Luciano.
Yeah.
Yeah, Israelite, yes. Yeah.
And them have their own stars, them too.
They have their own Japan reggae stars. What are they doing? Learning from you. Come on out here and come jerk chicken too, you know, and catch a jerk, you know. And go back to Japan and go jerk chicken, you know. And what Germany big one for out a reggae long time. Germany. Every reggae artist, not the dancehall artist, because really two music in there. Have the reggae and have the dancehall. The dancehall are the DJs and so, but the reggae artists, all of them go to Germany. When they go Europe and tour Germany, United. That's how they make some money. Right? That is we know boy. They said, don't teach the evil one your ways. Man. But you know, it's all doing of the most as a punishment. I'm showing you how they stay. So after this captivity now, and you learn how these nations stay, I don't really talk about God love everybody. God love everybody, how the hell them have flourish and you get the punishment. So it's either in love them and don't love you, or in love you and don't love them. Because the two are living in two different worlds. Right? So is either despise you so much and love the other nation, them make you a suffer so. I love you so much that he's punishing you and not punishing the other nations. And the Bible tells you that he loves you so much that he is punishing you and not the other nations, because none of them in love. He chastise you in love. All right. Anything else?
He said, Eve never go through a lot of the oppression that we're going through, that we go through.
If Eve was alive today, but I dead again. Every nation vexed with Eve. No, but because remember, from Noah comes we all, right? This is why these very curses are going to go on the other nations, you know. They are of a similar bloodline from Noah. So they're not going to get to eventually come in, but the most I deal with rank and order, and putting you in the rank to rule over them and to teach them. All right, there was a comment here from Mrs. Spag. I don't know, not sure who that is. There is so much more happening than just the march of George Floyd. There is massive protesting for the vax passport. Also, talking about in America. She suppose he's talking about in America. I'm saying, since George Floyd, there is massive protesting for the vax passport where they want to come with. Yeah. Also, Biden, how he stole the election, food shortages in America. Food shortages in America. If America had a food shortage, then that would be one of the biggest secrets. Yeah.
I know the food shortage can reach them.
It can reach them.
Because we do most of the food manufacturing for Mexican brothers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
The planting and the reaping and them.
Right. But what they did, they made those who work in the food industry, so they made them essential workers. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Illegal. But but the shortage can come because the distribution not taking place. Like UK, it can come that way. And a lot of businesses who get wiped out. Mm-hmm. All right. So she was talking about I suppose this comment was made based on when we were talking about the exposing the nakedness of America. Right. He said, thank you for your live streams. I wonder if your real Jamaica TV they come off, you know.
I don't know, man. Make it stay up. I don't normally stream I.S.U.P.K thing, man.
Oh, you're afraid that you get locked down and tagged and
monetize, they want to monetize it now. You know, they're not going to do I.S.U.P.K.
You probably can be but U.P.K never, U.P.K never tried to monetize it. So no, the name, I say probably other channel the comment come from. The one named Yosu Hamaru Amura. Yeah. I made love to
just one comment.
Oh, I love Jesus. You want to say, but you gonna make mistake and say I made love to Jesus. You know what? You put him back and say I love Jesus. And so them things are going. You have so you know a predictive test. Probably do on the phone. You have a predictive test where you type I and see something just jump in. And you don't even realize. I am Judah. I don't know who that is. All right, welcome. I am Judah.
I am Judah for the channel.
I don't know who it is really. Quite a while. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we know them. You know them behaving just like the Edens. You know, the love will break down and thing, but you know won't come in at the school. Shalom to you. All right, they get the shalom right. Maybe I want U.P.K. whatever.
I am Judah.
Mm. And get the shalom right, you know, so shalom and all them things. All right. So, anything else, Nelson? That's it. That's it. All right. So with that, the pastor class, the priest and officer, Kayad one.
Clap it up. These are the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are I.S.U.P.K out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, and the commanding General YAHANNA. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, They are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. After 6 months, if a brother or a sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother or sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find this in Numbers 18 and 21 and Malachi 3 verse 8 to 10. Means 10 in the Hebrew and is pronounced ma'ashra. 10% of every penny or of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you'd like to give. Upcoming holy convocation. Salakia, that is the feast of the dedication or Akanika. That is the 25th day of the 9th month by the space of 8 days. This is on Sunday, the 28th of November, for 8 days. You can find this in 1 Maccabees 4, verse 52 to 61. Reminding Akiam and Akwatiam to check on social media such as I.S.U.P.K.com, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so on for I.S.U.P.K events and materials. If a brother wants to be a trooper in the school, then he is to start wearing all black, which includes black boots, shirt, pants, headband, or scarf. And with that, we say I medium. It means to stand. Saralapanya Aquadam, which means turn and face the east. We're going to say the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabashamaya, Kodash, Aya, Shamka, Yahawa, Malakwatka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Aya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Aya, Bashamaya, Natananawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaklanawa, Kawabwat Nawa, Kasalak Nawa, Kawabwatya Nawa, Wala'a, Tabaya Nawa, Manasayawa, Abba, Awashai Nawa, Maya, Right, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Wa'atapara, La Aiwalamia.
Amen. In English, Our Father which art in heaven,
Our Father which art in heaven,
hallowed be thy name.
hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
And forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation.
And lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power. For thine is the kingdom. And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever so be.
Forever so be.
Prayer for the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh.
Blessed are you, Yahweh.
King of heaven and earth.
King of heaven and earth.
And all things living.
And all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Listen to us now.
Listen to us now.
Right now.
Right now.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the Eden.
To the Eden.
That speak against us.
That speak against us.
Thy prophets.
Thy prophets.
The teachers.
The teachers.
The princes.
The princes.
The priests.
The priests.
The Israelite brothers and the school.
The Israelite brothers and the school.
Send evils and curses.
Send evils and curses.
And punishment and destruction.
And punishment and destruction.
To the Eden.
To the Eden.
And shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel.
And shake loose the treasures of the rich of Israel.
That refuse to give to the school.
That refuse to give to the school.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction.
Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction.
To the Edomites.
To the Edomites.
And the nations.
And the nation.
And their drug dealers.
And their drug dealers.
The court system.
The court system.
The prison system.
Prison system.
Planned Parenthood.
Planned Parenthood.
All the governments of our enemies.
All the governments of our enemies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Amalek synagogues and armies.
Roman Catholic Church.
Roman Catholic Church.
Pope,
Pope,
Islam,
Islam,
Christianity,
Christianity,
Egyptology,
Egyptology,
militia,
militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation,
Skinheads,
Skinheads,
Posse Comitatus,
Pasikamatazi,
the gay movement,
gay
the
movement,
lesbian movement,
lesbian movement,
spies,
spies,
workers of witchcraft,
workers of witchcraft,
NASA space program,
NASA space program,
Army,
Army,
Navy,
Navy,
Air Force,
Air Force,
Marines,
Marines,
Wall Street,
Wall Street,
open up the internet
open up the internet,
and the airways,
and the airway,
the cable access channel,
cable access channel,
and the radio channel.
and the radio channel.
Convict the spirit of any of thy people
Convict the spirit of any of thy people
that seek to stop us
that seek to stop us
and bring swift destruction
and bring swift destruction
to all the heathen
to all the heathen
that stand in the way
that stand in the way,
or try to stop us from broadcasting your word
or try to stop us from broadcasting your word
throughout the planet Earth.
through the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
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 Cause them to go to and fro
Cause them to go to and fro
through the earth
through the earth
and consume them.
and consume them.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer.
Let Yahweh,
Let Yahweh,
Michael and Gabriel
Michael and Gabriel
come down with the flying saucer
come down with the flying saucers
and punish all the heathens
and punish all the heathens
that come up against us
that come up against us
as we speak thy word.
as we speak thy word.
Cause it to be known by all
Cause it to be known by all
that it is the angel that hath done it.
that it is the angels that has done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media,
Cause it to be spread through the media
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
In the name of Yahweh.
In the name of Yahweh.
Thank you always, so be.
Thank you always so be. This is a prayer for the poor. Yahweh Basham Yahushai.
Yahweh Basham Yahushai.
Baba Kosha.
Baba Kosha.
Nathan Lanawa.
Nathan Lanawa.
Akak.
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 Larapa'a.
Rapa'a.
Kalmakal.
Kalmakal.
Wakalmadawa.
Wakalmadawa.
Akak.
Akak.
Lata'a.
Lata'a.
Amatazaria.
Amatazari.
Akak.
Akak.
Akwaya.
Nahakwaya.
Amatia.
Amatia.
Akak.
Akak.
Irakawa.
Imakawa.
Atamala.
Atamala.
Nagarsha.
Nagarasha.
Basham Yahushai.
Basham Yahushai.
Tawarama.
Tuadam. In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh,
Yahweh in the name of Yahweh.
please give us the power.
Please give us the power.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
The power to cleanse the lepers.
The power to cleanse the leper.
The power to raise the dead.
The power to raise the dead.
The power against unclean spirits.
The power against unclean spirits.
To cast them out in the name of Yahweh.
To cast them out in the name of Yahweh.
Thank you, so be.
Thank you, so be.
Let's eat, then.
Yahweh Basham Yahushai.
Yahweh Basham Yahushai.
Barak Lanawa.
Barak Lanawa.
Wayasharala.
Wayasharala.
Wa'a.
Waha.
Bayatsaparia.
Wayatsaparia.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapa'a.
Rapa'a.
Magan.
Magan.
Agan.
Agan.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
Commanding General YAHANNA.
The general.
The general.
Captain.
The captain.
The officer.
The officer.
The troopers.
The trooper.
The young men.
Young men.
And the sister.
And the sister.
Basham Yahushai.
Basham Yahushai.
Tawarama.
Tuadam. All right, what we have just said is, Lord, in the name of Yahweh, Jewish Jesus, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect our loved ones in the name of Yahweh. Thank you.
So that was it.
Close.
We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher.
Turn.
Sorry, which means turn. We're going to give one courtesy salute to the teacher. We have Israel. I'm Madam Shabbat. I'm Madam Barak. Yahweh Basham Yahushai Rakata.
Yahweh Basham Yahushai Bakatam.
Yalamata. Class dismissed.
All right, we're asking you, remember to like our page, subscribe, and go to I.S.U.P.K.com, pay your tithes. Shalom to everyone who tuned in. Shalom, Israel. In this time of the pandemic, where COVID-19 has crippled the world economies, where our government has ordered nationwide shutdown, where hospitals are overwhelmed.
Shortly after, the unthinkable happened.
I was literally stunned and frozen.
And their religious leaders are proven to be frauds. Where do you go to get all your questions answered and to hear what God has to say about this matter? You can only find the answers in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under Commanding General YAHANNA. We give you scriptural breakdowns of world events and the up and coming world war. We will show you in the Bible where the children of Israel, who are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans today, would suffer slavery in Jamaica, Caribbean, North, Central, and South America, and other parts of the world. We will show you in the Bible where God said He would send plagues upon the earth before He frees people from this captivity.
The World Health Organization has declared coronavirus a global pandemic.
We will give you the true teaching of the Bible, precept upon precept. To learn more, subscribe today and call the number in the description for I.S.U.P.K Jamaica. Shalom.